Hi there. I'm Gardner Goldsmith, the founder of the Liberty Conspiracy website. It's libertyconspiracy.com, and also the producer of the Liberty Conspiracy audios. And I'm embarking on a new series of videos associated with the website because I thought it would be important to find as many avenues as possible to communicate with individuals who believe in individual liberty or are inquisitive about the principles of individual liberty, free markets, and individual autonomy from government. And this is the first of our videos for libertyconspiracy.com. And so I thought it might be worthwhile to sort of explain to people why a conspiracy. Well, the title Liberty Conspiracy was chosen because nowadays freedom isn't in vogue anymore. It's not in fashion. And at every turn you find someone trying to regulate your neighbor's life, take your neighbor's money. You have a right to be left alone by me. I have a right to be left alone by you. And we're trying, my friends and I at the conspiracy, are trying to expand the purview of individual freedom. So in this first video, I thought it would be worthwhile to tell you about us and also to tell you about the issue on which we're going to concentrate first. Now, we could go way back and describe to you the history of free market economics, going all the way back to some of Aristotle's earliest thoughts. But this is a very essential time to be fighting for freedom, and in particular, it's essential in one area. And so I want to concentrate on that in this first series of videos for the Liberty Conspiracy. Now, about which do I speak? I'm talking about healthcare. I'm specifically talking about government's involvement with healthcare and how important this is and how this reflects on the entire panoply of individual liberty and all the issues within it. You see, no one has a claim on you. No one has a claim on what you do, your services, your time, or your interests. And you should be able to do that which is peaceful. Anything that you want to engage in that does not directly harm another individual, if you're not initiating force against someone else, why should you be stopped from doing it? And yet every day, everywhere in the world, some politician or some special interest person is working with a politician to try to regulate your life and your neighbor's life, to tell him or her how to do business. Instead of trying to compete with that individual, they will use the government, the state, to tell him. They will initiate force against that individual. So, while all the town hall meetings are going on out there, and all of the leftists are saying that, oh, the ideas that these people are coming up with, they're being generated by corporate interests and insurance companies, and the people who are there are just mindless robots who don't know anything. They're just spouting off lines. Think about this. There is a group of people out there who are conspirators for freedom, and they know what they're talking about. They know philosophy, they know economics, and they know history. And you know what? They're pretty hip too. So here's what they're going to do. They're going to rhetorically enter the ring against you statists, against you in Washington, D.C., in the various state governments, and they're going to explain why freedom works better than your ideas. They're going to explain the ethics of individual liberty, and they're going to repeat the principle that no one has a claim on my neighbor. We're here to defend our neighbors. So in this introductory piece, I want to engage in a brief explanation of this main subject upon which we'll concentrate. That is, of course, the healthcare issue. Government involvement in healthcare, government regulation of people who just want to provide insurance and do a business by allowing people to hedge their bets against future liability. And I want to show you something right here. See this? Ooh, smellorama. This is a chess piece. This is a castle. It's from a little magnetic chess set that I have in the palatial Goldsmith estate here in New Hampshire. And this piece is a little visual metaphor to what the politicians have been doing, contrary to the U.S. Constitution and, beyond that, contrary to the principles and ethics of freedom. Because the Constitution doesn't even go far enough. Contrary to free markets, people want to regulate your lives. But how do they do it? Do they do it all in one piece? No. They move the pieces one by one, bit by bit. And I want to tell you as a preface that the primary piece they are going to move in this entire healthcare menagerie, these different pieces of legislation that are coming out of the House, the Senate, and the White House, the one thing that they're going to do, you can mark my words, they will pass a national mandate prohibiting insurance companies from checking people's pre-existing conditions. They will not necessarily mandate that everyone have insurance. In fact, it will work better for them to move the pieces in a certain way to get more and more people upset about their health insurance by imposing this regulation on them. And in a series of upcoming videos, I'll explain to you why this is the case, with examples from history, free market economics, and I'll show you why this not only runs contrary to the Constitution itself, but runs contrary to the ethics of leaving one's neighbor alone, the golden rule. So I hope you'll stay tuned for more. This piece is a bit of a test. We'll see how this works. I hope you'll check it out, and I hope you'll get engaged by some of the things that we're saying here. And over the next few months, I hope we'll see this a little bit more. I know some of my friends have been doing this with each other. It's a little signal for freedom, and it's a reference to an old TV show that a man who recently died produced and originated. His name was Patrick McGowan. It was an ITV production from the late 60s about a man who was trapped in a village where no one had a name. They were all numbers. No one was an individual, and he was the prisoner. He was called Number 6. It's interesting. They'll know you by a number pretty soon if you don't watch it. And the way he used to sign off, well, I'll do the same thing. I'll refer you to the Liberty Conspiracy website where our audios are posted, and I'll also say this. Be seeing you.